Bhopal, India. December 3rd, 1984. 5 past midnight. And at the Union Carbide pesticide plant, workers detect a minor gas leak and phone it in. Control room operator Suman Day is the first point of contact.
Yes?
There is a leak. So immediately I check it out.
Suman leaves the control room to search for the leak. He heads over to the storage area where the plant's most volatile chemicals are kept buried under a thick layer of concrete. Alongside phosgene, used as a chemical weapon during World War I, is a massive volume of MIC, methyl isocyanate, the main ingredient of Sevin, the pesticide the plant produces. It's one of the world's most toxic chemicals.
A huge amount of MIC was being kept there. All the chemicals are equally dangerous. Everybody has to be very cautious if anything goes wrong.
The distinctive smell of gas tells Suman the leak is close by.
It was leaking, but thing is, that was leaking slowly.
Minor gas leaks are a regular occurrence, and the workers have had to learn to live with the choking effects.
Everything was all right. I have checked all the pressure, temperature and all that. Then as such, there was no work for us. So we were just chatting with other fellow in the control room.
Plant workers call again. At the 15-year-old plant, inaccurate meter readings are common, so Suman takes another look at the pressure gauge.
I found that the needle is 0 to 0.
In minutes, the pressure in the chemical storage tanks has shot off a scale. 12:20. Suman Day rushes to the storage area where it's immediately clear that something is very wrong.
This area was very hot. It is trembling. The concrete is vibrating.
As Suman sprints for the control room, gas escapes into the factory's maze of pipes.
There was a big, huge hissing sound, like a steam engine,
12:30. Suman implements emergency procedures to neutralize the gas as it passes through a cleaning column called the vent gas scrubber. But nothing happens. Then the gas passes through the flare tower, designed to burn off any escaping gas.
No, it's not working.
But again, nothing. Under huge pressure, the gas hurtles through the network of pipes, up a venting chimney, and out into the atmosphere.
I understand this is a big disaster.
Operators are powerless to stop toxic gas pumping into the night sky.
I announced that there is a big leakage from the storage area. Please evacuate. For a couple of minutes, we were really spellbound what to do. Never did it has come to anybody's mind that this type of disaster can happen.
It's not just plant workers at risk. 1 a.m. The Union Carbide plant is right next to the residential heart of Bhopal, and a southeasterly wind blows the toxic cloud straight towards its 500,000 inhabitants. Not far from the factory, plant worker T.R. Chauhan has the weekend off.
I was happy because my daughter was very small and I was thinking that there's no headache of night shift.
But in the dead of night, he's suddenly woken.
My son was weeping. Same time, we felt some irritation in our eyes.
You give him some water to drink. I'll go and see.
As the gas cloud condenses, it sinks to ground level, cloaking the sleeping city in a poisonous blanket. Almost immediately, empty streets fill with residents, gasping for breath in terrified confusion.
The street was full of the people just running, just running. So I immediately decided that I have to also run. My children with my family. They are vomiting, coughing. These are the people dying. Running, they are falling and dying.
Meanwhile, at the factory, safety systems that neutralize or burn the gas still aren't working. And the factory's final barrier to all-out disaster is also failing. Workers have grabbed emergency water hoses to spray and dissolve the escaping gas. But the water jets aren't powerful enough to reach the gas spewing from the chimney. After half an hour, the flow of toxic gas shows no sign of slowing down. Across town, a late-night phone call wakes Dr. Bandari, senior consultant at Bhopal's main hospital.
Hello? No. Slow down, please. You just rinse their eyes and put some eye drops.
I got telephone call from the hospital. There's some gas has leaked out from a factory, which is probably ammonia. A number of patients have come here with eye problem. So I told him, put some eye drops. He told me again, the number of patients is increasing and I can't manage. So could you please come?
Yes. I'm coming there shortly.
Alarmed by the unusual call, Dr. Bandari checks outside for any signs of gas.
I went inside. I was quite breathless and constantly coughing and coughing and coughing.
With every minute, the invisible gas cloud spreads, covering an area some 8 kilometers wide. Locals only know it's impossible to breathe. Tens of thousands flee their homes in a panic stampede, choking to death as they run. At the Union Carbide plant, Suman Day is safely sealed inside the control room. But with workers unaccounted for, he goes back into the factory on a rescue mission.
Quickly, I got mask and I gun inside the factory once again. I was thinking to save all the people who are working there.
But he's soon running out of air.
I was so scared, I was so frightened. In that fraction of moment, I was thinking maybe it's my end.
Across the city, factory worker Chauhan and his family are desperate. In the chaos, they know they must flee or perish.
Then I saw an empty car.
Let's go. Come.
Chauhan convinces the driver to help them.
When I saw empty, you want to save your life, please go to the new city side.
After a violent coughing fit, Dr. Bandari has recovered enough to reach the hospital.
As soon as I reached the hospital, I saw a large number of people standing there, waiting for the treatment.
What's happening?
The past 1 hour, they're just coming and coming and coming.
And what about her?
Doctor, I wash your eyes with water, but it's not helping.
The police have told him he's dealing with a leak of ammonia.
Hold on.
Bandari expects conventional treatments will solve the patient's problems. But the symptoms are far more extreme.
Many of them were having now the respiratory problems, coughing, choking sensation.
His standard remedies are ineffective.
We did not know what to do. This is an unknown medical condition.
Thousands of choking, dying Bhopalis overwhelm the hospital. And Bandari needs answers. He's convinced the gas isn't ammonia.
You don't understand. There are hundreds of patients outside my clinic.
First, Indian carbon said it is ammonia, then they said it is phosgene.
Just tell me, what gas is this?
Then they said it is MIC. We had never heard the MIC, methyl isocyanate, and we had no antidote or no such information from mineral carbide.
Unknown to the medics, MIC is reacting with the water in victims' bodies, forcing blood to pour into the tiny spaces in the lungs, making breathing impossible.
Many died instantaneously on the spot. Especially those who were running and they inhaled the gas, and immediately lung becomes swollen and the people drowned in their own secretions. From 3 o'clock onwards, we started getting line of dead bodies.
By daylight on December 3rd, the gas has dissipated across the country. But in Bhopal, some 3,000 people lie dead, and more than 300,000 are suffering the agonizing consequences of exposure to MIC. Sumande and the other plant workers survive the night. In the daylight, he sees the devastation of his city for the first time.
I saw the buffaloes, the cows were on the street, dead.
The worst affected are the old and the young, often trapped in the densest parts of the cloud close to the ground. Within hours, Bhopal hits the headlines.
The death toll in the Bhopal disaster stands at over 2,500, the worst industrial accident in history.
In this area, opposite the Union Carbide site, about 10,000 people live. But this morning, the entire slum is empty.
Horror at the scale of suffering is followed by a simple question: how could this happen? The day after the disaster, the Indian government dispatches chemist Dr. Thyagarajan to make the plant safe.
Absolutely horrifying situation. People were still on the street, dead bodies were there, and people were crying, and it was panic.
The Bhopal plant mass-produced Sevin, and company officials tell Thyagarajan the MIC needed was carefully stored in liquid form in tanks buried deep underground. But workers say that tank E610 was 75% full, way over the corporation's 50% recommendation. Its entire 42-ton